If you feel lost right now, you're not broken. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find your way back to clarity. Hello everyone, this is Kevlan. I hope everybody is keeping well. And in today's video, I wanted to share my insights and provide my perspective on things or practices that have helped me when I was going through, or when I am going through challenging time or time of confusion, or sometimes when we feel lost. So I really wanted to share my insights and giving you some tips on what to do in order to get more clarity into your life and help you navigate through challenging times. So I wanted to start this video by saying one thing. Wherever you are right now, wherever you're experiencing, whether it's challenging times, whether you feel lost in your life or in the direction to take or next step, whether you feel confused, you really don't know how to change this, I wanted to say one thing first. Nothing is permanent, and wherever you are right now, whatever you're experiencing right now, there is a way out. There is always an exit. And what you're experiencing now is not going to be the truth of tomorrow. And I want to repeat that again because it's very, very important to understand that nothing is permanent and there is always a way out. There is always an exit. You see, you're not broken. The way we usually experience this type of cycles where there is a cycle of contraction where we go through time of confusions, we go through where we feel lost, we don't know what direction to take, or challenging times for different reasons. We have to understand that we live in a world that told us a story. Society told us a story since we were born. Since we came into this world, we hear a story about who we are, we hear a story about how we should live our life, we hear a story about how we should behave, and what success looks like, what a good life looks like. And this story is really, really programmed, or is very ingrained into our subconscious mind when we are kids. It's transferred from generations to generations. And as a result of this, we are trying to live our life not on their own terms, or not the way we want to, like deep inside our heart desire, but we're trying to live our life based on the story we've been told. So it's important to realize that you're not broken. You're just trying to survive based on the story you've been told. This story is based on survival of the fittest. Everything is based on competition. Everything is based on comparison. We identify ourselves only or purely from the body perspective. We are just a body. And we need to force an outcome. We need to be strong. We need to be stronger than other people if we want something, because we always live in a lack mindset. Everything is limited. Everything, whether it's resources, whether it's stuff in our life, everything is limited in nature. That's the story we've been told. So it's not surprising that we will go through time of challenge, because that's not what the soul wants to experience. The soul is not here to survive. The soul is here to thrive. The soul is here to experience. The soul is here to grow, to evolve, to change, to transform. And what's the best way for the soul to let us know, or giving us some insight, or sending us a message, or at least draw our attention? That's every time this is what I say. When I go through time of confusion in my personal life, when I go through challenging time, no matter what it means, when I go through a time where I feel lost and I don't know where to go, to me it's just a feedback or a message from my soul to let me know that I need to change something, to let me know that it's time for me to let go of something, to let go of part of the story, all the story I've heard, so that I can start living my life from the heart. I can start living my life from at the soul level, from what the soul desires and trying to experience in my life. When I look at society at large, when I look at people in general, the crowd, as I like to call it, the majority of people on this planet, they don't live. They purely exist. They're here trying to survive and continue to survive, but they're merely existing. They're not here. They're not experiencing life. They're not growing. They are not thriving. They are just surviving. So they're just existing. They're not actually living their life. And this direction will always, always, always lead us to challenge, will always lead us to difficulties, to struggles, because that will be a way for our soul, for life to tell us that we need to change something, we need to transform, because that's not what we're here for. I don't believe that we as human beings are here to survive. I don't believe that here as human beings are here to compete. I believe that we as human beings are here to transform, to evolve, to grow, so that we can thrive and so that we can live and we can make this planet, this world, this society heaven on earth. So, really two things is, one, you're not broken. If you're going through difficult times, know that you're not broken. Know you're not the problem. And two, understand that there's always, always a way out. There's always a possibility that it will help you escape, or I don't like the word escape, but exit the current situation you're in. There's always a way out. So now, I want to share with you 5 different practices that I usually practice when I'm going through challenging times. I try to practice them on a daily basis or on a regular basis, but even more so if I go through challenge or a challenging time. So number 1 is what I would say, spend time alone. Why is spending time alone so important? Because how can you know yourself if you don't spend time with yourself? How can you truly know yourself if you don't spend time with yourself? We live in a society that we are we are bombarded by distractions. It's all about being distracted from who we are. But when we feel a time of confusion, a time of when we're lost, a time of challenge, it's very often because we don't know who we are. We don't know what our soul desires. We don't know what directions to give to give to our life. And how can we know that if we don't know who we are? And how can we know who we are if we don't spend time with ourselves? So that's really number 1, is try to spend time alone, whether it means going on a walk somewhere by yourself, whether it means sitting somewhere by yourself, whether it's just spending an hour just self-reflecting about your life, about what you truly want. And it comes back to what I usually ask, a very simple question to people, and I say, what is your dream life? If everything was possible right now, just like that, everything is possible, what your dream life will be looking like? And a lot of people, the majority of people actually, they can't even answer this question. And why? Is because they don't know who they are. They don't know themselves, because they never spend time with themselves. They never spend time trying to know themselves, because we are, again, bombarded by distractions. And when we don't feel good with ourselves, when we feel a void, when we feel confusion, when we are lost, we want to be distracted so that we don't have to face it. It's easier to get distracted than facing it. But the problem with that, if you continue getting distracted, you will never know yourself, and you will never know what direction or what your heart truly desire, and you will continue to suffer. You will continue to go through challenges, because that's the only way life has to draw your attention that you need to change something. So that's number 1, is really spending time with yourself. No matter what it is, try to save some time every day, whether it's 5 minutes, 10, half an hour, an hour. Everybody has half an hour. And spend it with yourself, self-reflecting, sitting with yourself, going on a walk, and trying to get to know who you are. Number 2 is ask for help. When we are in a situation where we're completely lost and we don't know, where to go or what to do, or we feel we're struggling, we're in pain, we're hurt, I would say ask for help, whether it's externally, ask your friends. And I know it's very hard for a lot of people to ask for help or to be vulnerable and say, I'm going through a tough time right now, and I need help, and I need people to give me directions. So obviously trying to ask for help, whether it is your family, your friends, whoever you feel comfortable with. So this external help, but also this internal help. I truly believe that we don't come alone. We have people, we have guides, no matter how you want to call it. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it your guides, if you want to call it the galactic, if you want to call it your ancestors, no matter how you want to call it. We have help. We have beings that we cannot see, although sometimes we can, but we cannot see with our eyes, that are here to assist us. And they respect free will. So if we do not ask for help, they're not going to give us help, because they respect free will. Is one of the law of the universe. So if you need help, ask for help, even if you don't believe in it. If you don't believe you have people outside of this realm that are here to assist you, you have nothing to lose. And that's what I call a prayer. People in religion, they will call that a prayer, which is, to me, it's not about the word you're going to say. It's not about having a specific, a specific text you need to repeat. A prayer, to me, is speaking with your heart, is really speaking your truth with your heart. And if your heart right now feel that it needs help, it needs directions, it needs inspiration, just ask for it. Just connect with your heart and ask for it, and address it to whoever you want, the universe, again, God, your guides, the ancestors, the galactic, whoever it is you believe in, and try it out. I've always, when I'm in time confusions and I need some clarity, some inspiration, I always ask my guides, always ask them to show me the way, to inspire me, so that I can get more clarity on what to do now. Number 3 is do an activity that will trigger a feeling of a well-being, whether it's joy, happiness, gratitude. And I know in the first, initially I said, we need to face whatever we have. We need to get to know ourselves, and we don't want to be distracted. But by doing something you truly love, it's not about being distracted. It's about opening your heart so that you can increase your frequency. And what's the best way to receive inspirations? It's open your heart and receive and increase your frequency. So that's a way for you to get more clarity. That's a way for you to feel more grounded. That's a way for you to feel more connected to your intuition, to your inner voice, to clarity, is by doing something you truly love. When I try to help people, and I always say, and what I tell them to do is what I do with myself. Is I try to celebrate myself every day, and even more so if I have a bad day. If I have a bad day, I'll say, set aside at least 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes in their life. 5 minutes to celebrate yourself, where you can just be with yourself and do something you love. I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to move, and that's helping me to trigger this feeling of this well-being, this increase my frequency. If you like to paint, if you like to draw, if you like to work out, whatever it is, but try to set aside some time to celebrate yourself and focus on that activity that will trigger a feeling of well-being, trigger a feeling of gratitude, love, joy, so on and so forth. Because again, this feeling will help you connect and feel, and remove the background noise, the static that is preventing you from hearing your inner voice or connecting with your intuition. Another practice, the number 4, is writing. The practice of writing is phenomenal, is super, super powerful. And it really helps us, when I do it, when I feel lost, when I feel bad, when I feel I have bad thoughts or I have a hard time to really get these clarities, write down everything you feel. Everything you have in your mind, just write it down. And by writing down, it's just a way to let it go. You just write it down and give it to the universe so that it can be transmuted, it can be transcended, it can be transformed. So the practice of writing. If you have a journal, if you don't have a journal, but take a piece of paper and start writing whatever you feel, as if you were addressing to someone, and especially if you are a bit shy, or if you don't want to be vulnerable, if you don't want to really seek for help, one of the ways really write, as if you were addressing to someone, you were talking to someone, but just write everything you have in your mind, everything you feel, and and give it away. Once you write, you just release it into the universe. And the last one I wanted to share today is the practice of being in nature. Every time, I love nature. Nature is my medicine. Personally, I love to spend time in nature, whether it's in the mountains, in the forests, the beach, whatever it is. But I love connecting and being in nature, getting sunshine, connecting with the sun, or the spirits of nature, the trees, and so on and so forth. But every time, if I'm going through a tough time, if I'm going through a hard time, if I'm struggling with thoughts or feelings or an experience or pain, whatever it is, it's a go-to. I will always make time to go in nature for a walk when I can self-reflect. And when I get in nature, I always ask nature to help me release what is holding me back, and to help me getting this clarity, this inspiration. And every time I go to nature and I'm looking for inspiration, every time I receive inspiration. So, and that's the best way to get clarity is that the best way to get out of this confusion, or this, when we feel lost, is to get clarity. And one of the best ways to get clarity is really to be in nature. So yeah, try it out, be in nature, and then I'm sure you will see for yourself that you're able to connect, to ground more, and connect with your inner voice and your intuition, and it's going to give you some answers on what to do next in your journey. I hope these practices will help you as much as it helps me when I'm going through a tough time, a challenging time. Know that it's part of the cycle. It's part of the cycle of growth and evolution. That's the purpose of the soul. The soul wants to evolve, wants to grow, wants to experience. And when we are not, making the right move, the right direction, or we're not living our life, but we're just existing, our soul will always try to, push and send us messages that we call struggles, that we call pain, that we call disease, that we call, challenges overall, and feeling lost and confusion, is to draw our attention that it's time to change. It's time to change something. It's time to initiate this transformation that our soul truly desires, and start to prioritize our growth, our personal growth. And second, know that it's only temporary. Whatever state you're in, it's only temporary. There is always a way out, and nothing is permanent in life. And I know when we are not doing good, it feels like time is moving very slow. But if you try those 5 practices, and I can assure you that something will happen, like a breakthrough will happen, or a clarity or an inspiration will come to you that will help you with your next step. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so that you can be informed when I publish another one. Also, smash the like button down below. It helps with the algorithm, and so that we can make the video more visible to more people. I would love to hear from you, and perhaps if you can share with me the practices that you personally do when you're going through some challenging time. I would love to hear your insights and your perspective as well. And if you can comment down below. I also left in the description down below the link of my book, The Science of Breaking Free, where I share some empowering knowledge about who you are and the reality you live in, to really help you get empowered and help you transform your belief system into a knowing system. I also left in the link down below my website with my services. If you want to work with me, if you want to contact me, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I wish you well, and I'll see you in the next one.